um, Back again, this time at Suzuka. Um, 6.5 minutes left in free practice. Then we start 50 minutes of qualifying and then 80-minute race. Suzuka is a great track for. Suzuka is a great track for just driving around. It's a very good driver's track. In terms of overtaking, probably this week we won't see that many overtakes. Like in Spa, for example. We might see a lot of mistakes from other drivers because this track is challenging to drive on. But yeah. Can I add everyone? Oh yeah, I can. Okay, fuck it. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, Suzuka is a very good driver's track. Like I said, we might see some mistakes from a lot, some drivers, but yeah, overall it's a great driver's track that is hard to overtake, especially in these GT3 cars. In F1 cars, at least in the F1 game, it's a bit easier, you know. In real life, of course, we had the F1 race that was just absolutely terrible. Couldn't really overtake. And yeah, hopefully it's not going to be like the same in here. That actually people would overtake. Hopefully. And yeah. Let's go to the standings to check out what's going on in there. With Alejandro having a disastrous round 3, which took place in Spa. He didn't finish the race, or at least he finished in P13, but he rage quit it. He's still leading the Drivers' Championship. He's still leading the Drivers' Championship by 5 points over Adrian. Adrian won that race 2 weeks ago around Spa, so he did close that gap very nicely. And it seems to be a very good title fight between Adrian and Alejandro. In third is Dima Nugumanov. Not a single podium for him, but consistency. P6, P9 and P5 through the first 3 rounds makes him in P3 just at 1 point in front of Dvorsak, who has 105 points. Dima has 106. Then Martin Peters is in 5th with 104. The same exact amount of points as Luca Tamborini, with 104 points, both of them. Then Emanuel in 7th with 95 points. Fabio Moroni in 8th with 86. Eugenio Fernandez with 84. Zayem Nadim in 10th with 80 points. Emmanuel Raffensberg in 11th with 60 points. Thiago Moreira in 12th with 52. Elias De Vos in 13th with 48. Berger in 14th with 48. Schwering in 15th with 45, and then it just goes on and on and on at that till, yeah, well, 37th position, which is the last position, but yeah, I'll be there for some more time. saying that, those positions and all that. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it really won't be that exciting of a race, at least what we could see. But hopefully it's not gonna be an absolute boredom. Maybe there's gonna be some chaos in turn 1, especially going too wide. Maybe someone at the back is gonna get an absolute godlike start compared to the 2 in front, and we could see 3 wide going into turn 1. Hopefully we could see that, but let's see if that's gonna actually happen for us. We're going into practice luckily soon, so that we don't have to watch this boredom for that long, and then we can go into qualifying, which around this circuit is going to be very, very important. As let's check the garage. Bettendrum is in first with 2 minutes 00.772. Then Adrian is 8 tenths back. Schwering in third, 9 tenths back. Alejandro Gonzalez in fourth with 9.5 tenths back. Then a second from Alejandro took in to Emmanuel. Emmanuel 2 seconds and half a tenth behind. Alejandro 2 seconds and half a tenth, but just that's Emmanuel is 58 thousandths and Orlando is 65 thousandths back from P1. De Costa 2 seconds, 0.1 tenth, 2.1 seconds behind P1. Dvorak in 8th with 2.7 seconds behind P1, and Luca 4 seconds behind. Berger, Voska, Zayem have not set a time. Thiago is in spectator mode for whatever reason. So yeah, apparently it was supposed to be flipping 33 drivers. Apparently. Alright. Yeah, it was supposed to be around 32 drivers, but as we know, we only get like 15 come race day. People just forget to, yeah, they just forget about the race, I guess. It is what it is, though. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe people just forget to withdraw. Whatever it is, I don't know. Anyways, we have, by technicality, we have 12 drivers in here, as Thiago is still in spectator mode. We have 29 McLaren coming out, but he's stalled. It seems like, I don't fucking know, did he stall or not. We have Luca coming out. We have number 21. That's Zayem coming out. Bettendrum, he's gonna be the one to watch in here, as he did set a time, by far the fastest time in practice, 8.5 tenths faster than Adrian, who was in P2. Of course, Alejandro can, usually in practice, he doesn't go the fastest. He's not pushing, at least from what I think and what I've seen. Then in qualifying, he drops the fuel probably and he starts pushing. And yeah, so I guess, yeah, I'm gonna be watching more Bettendrum at least for the first lap, see what kind of a lap time he can do. A bit of traffic in front, as in front of him he has Adrian and Luca, and as I am, as I was. That's camera. Yeah, let's see who can take pole position around Suzuka. Like I said, qualifying is very important on this circuit, as overtaking in the race is very difficult, very difficult. You don't really have that many places to overtake around Suzuka in GT3 cars especially. So yeah, it is game on in qualifying to really nail the laps over, so that we have a good starting position. Adrian, I think he might be a bit too close to Luca on the start of the lap, trying to get maybe a bit of that slipstream going into turn 1 and 2, then into the S's, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. Luca going extremely wide onto the grass, and he backs out of it, lets Adrian through, which is a very good thing to do, a right thing to do as well. I don't think he blocked Zayem either. Into the Degners, the first Degner, and then into the second Degner, under the bridge, then into this right kink, and then pretty much on the end of that curb you need to brake for this hairpin. We need to get a good exit for this long, easy flat out right. Just turning right pretty much the whole thing, and then into the spoon curve, the first part of spoon, and then the second part of spoon. You're gonna go a bit faster into this corners, I think, especially the first parts. You wanna go up to that curbing on the outside, then into the famous 130R. In this GT3 cars, it's very difficult to get the corner rights. He might have invalidated, I think. He might have invalidated, might have gone a bit too wide. It doesn't really push into the chicanes. Let's see if he did invalidate, because that lap time that you see on top is not really the one that you can really well, not that you can look at, and it seems like that wasn't a valid lap. 2 minutes 01652. Zayem behind. I don't think either he set a valid time. Let me just get Zayem somewhere. Where is he? Where is this dude? Yeah, no, he didn't set a valid lap time, but Bettendrup did set a valid lap time, and it's at 2 minutes 00380 on the first flying lap. I'm gonna be watching this dude, because I want to see what is he doing on his flying lap. I mean, honestly, at the moment, he's very, very close to go under 2 minute lap time around Suzuka, which would be very impressive to do around Suzuka, because you usually are around those 2 minutes, like in the 2 minutes, just overall. Now he is gonna get a bit hold up by Luca on this lap. He does get a decent slipstream. Maybe not yet, but he might be able to get a good slipstream down into 130R if he's going to be close enough to Luca. Of course, it's a bit of a distraction to look at Luca. He gets a bad exit, and he invalidates on the exit out of the spoon curve. He's racing a bit with Luca. And Luca just let him through, but yeah, Bettendrup anyways invalidated his lap time, so no can do. Zayem as well invalidated his lap time. Alejandro in P2 did invalidate this lap, but his first lap is only 2 minutes 01.617. That's 1.3, roughly 1.3 seconds, 1.2 seconds behind Petendrup. So Petendrup is just showing absolute class in Suzuka. He's just absolutely demolishing everyone. I just want to see if he can actually do a under 2-minute lap time. Is there anyone else sharing in second at the moment? But still, he's as well over a second back. He's as well over a second back from Petendrup. So Petendrup is absolutely cooking at the moment. His predicted lap time would go under the 2-minute lap time. So whatever he's doing, he's absolutely cooking like the highest ranked Michelin star chefs around Suzuka. 6 tenths up. That delta is going a bit down, but it was at 6 tenths. It's 5.5 tenths as we go into the spoon curve. Can he maintain that? Can he at least get into the under 2 minutes? 6.5 tenths up. Does he get a good exit? He's sliding a bit on the exit. He's gonna lose that run into the 130R and the chicane, which costs him a good, valuable lap time. Pretty much halved, or almost halved, his delta up on his time. The bump on 130R, he managed to save it. He's still up on his time somehow. He did lose 2 tenths, over 2 tenths, and he just cuts the final chicane. Goes back into the pit, so yeah, that lap time is not going to be completed. Zayem 2 minutes 01.940, quite far behind Petendrup. It is that 2 tenths, 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds back from Petendrup. Alejandro is not improving, invalidated his previous time. Voska 2 minutes 02.770. Emmanuel is stopped on the exit of the bridge. De Costas hasn't set a time. Adrian is in P2, 2 minutes 01.140. He's not even broken into the 2 minute 00s. He's just outside of that. At the moment, his predicted lap time would allow him that. But still, even if he would make into the 00s, he would still be half a second back. Half a second to 6 tenths back from Petendrup. So it's just absolutely insane what Petendrup is cooking to this grid. He's absolutely showing no mercy to this grid. And that's just how it is. Can't really blame him that he's just incredibly fast. And that's, well, Alejandro and Adrian this season, they're gonna have to find ways to not lose that many points to him. They're just gonna have to get consistent podiums, high places anyways. And then if even Petendrup is gonna win, then like every single race, he might not be able to catch up, as the gap, well, if I'm not wrong, that might be his first race in race 1, I think, that I see him at least. Where is he? Here is he. I need to McLaren. Let me just check. Because I don't know, in round 3 he didn't race, but I don't know, did he race earlier races? And I just want to see, is there, no, he's, okay, no, he hasn't raced a race yet in race 1. This is his first race in race 1. So, yeah, he would, I don't know, need an absolute miracle to be able to win the championship. So yeah, I don't know if he's really going for the championship. Really, he's just driving. So Petendrup technically has 2 laps that he can do. He's going onto the grass. That's one way to start the lap. And yeah, he's gonna have 1 lap to go to try and set a faster time than that, and as well trying to go under 2-minute lap time, because I think he has it. He genuinely has it in him, but he just needs to perfect the lap time around the circuit. So far, Petendrup is in P1, Adrian P2, Schwering P3, Alejandro only in P4. He's not looking great around Suzuka. Zaim in P5, Emanuel P6, Berger in P7, Lando P8, Voske P9, Dvorsak P10, Luca P11, and De Costa in P12. Thiago in 13th. He's driving, but he's in spectator mode. So he doesn't have any sort of lap times showing to us. He's just driving for pleasure, I guess. Can I even switch to him? I don't think I can. Let me check. Or did I miss him? I might have missed him, actually. Oh, there he is. I mean, 2:05, so still pretty... not great, let's just say that. But okay. Adrian is not improving and invalidated. Schwering is in the pits with 1.5 minutes to go. He will not get another lap time, so the best that he can hope for is 3rd. Lando seems to be on a flying lap. He's not improving on his lap time. Half a tenth back, going into Degner's. Can he improve the time? He does find through the first Degner a bit of time. Into the second Degner. Can he find time? He doesn't lose the rear, and he loses just time. 2 tenths already. 3 tenths almost down on his lap. As we go into the hairpin. Can he maybe find some time in here? He does find a bit time back. Only 1.5 tenths down on his previous lap time. Let me just check with Petendrup. Petendrup is just starting his final flying lap of this qualifying. We go back to Lando, 2 tenths down. He lost a bit of time through the first part of Spoon Curve. Second part, does he get a good exit? No, he doesn't. He slid a bit on the exit out of that second spoon. Going into this back straight into 130R. Bit over 2 tenths down on his lap. Did not use all the racetrack on the well, into the 130R, but he did invalidate that lap time. So yeah, that's a lap done. Petendrup, let's look at him. What he can do on his lap. 2 tenths up on his lap. Honestly, probably he doesn't even need this lap, but I really want to see can he go under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes. In here, a bit of a slide on the exit out of that second Degner. Loses him a bit of lap time. Into the hairpin. Does he find a bit more time through here on the exit? He did find a bit initially, but he loses it as we go into the straight. He's just losing a bit more. Now it's a bit more stable. 3 tenths and 300ths into the spoon. Can he gain a bit more time to the initial part? Not that much. Then mid-part he gains. Can he maintain that on the exits? It stays similar. It's still that bit over 3 tenths. 3 tenths and 300ths into 130R. Last lap, when he was trying to make a lap time, he did make a mistake, and now he doesn't, and he gains half a tenth through 130R into the chicane. Does he manage to find a bit more time? Yes, he does find a lot of time through that chicane. And does he go under under 2 minute lap time? Yes, he does. 1:59.982. Petendrup goes under two minutes. And that is probably a poor position for him unless Alejandro is gonna pull something out of his ass. But he doesn't, at least for Petendrup. But it's gonna go up into P2. 2 minutes 00.607. Adrian, where is he? Adrian is improving 3.5 tenths, but it's not enough. Stays in third. 2 minutes 00827. Dvorak is in P10. 2 minutes 0265. 0. Lando is improving by 4 tenths. Can he improve that position? Yes, he can go P7, just between Berger and Emmanuel. Well, 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and 900ths down from Petendrup. So that's gonna be a 2 minute 02.07, probably something like that. But yeah, as you can see, Petendrup on pole position, 159.982. Absolute domination in qualifying, at least, from the McLaren. P2 Alejandro, P3 Adrian, P4 Schwering, P5 Zayem, P6 Berger, P7 Lando, P8 Emmanuel, P9 Voske, P10 Dvorak, P11 Luca, P12 Da Costa, and P13 Thiago, who is still in the spectator mode. So none of his laps count. And yeah, but beautiful lap time, beautiful lap by Petendrup. And yeah, now we just go into the race soon, at least someday, maybe, hopefully, at least. And yeah, 4.5, Jesus Christ, man. 4.5 minutes of waiting time, Jesus. Four minutes of the pin waiting time. Jesus Christ. Way too long. Should be like 2.5 minutes at least. Though, by the way, don't mind me eating popcorn, okay? I have nothing to do. So I guess for this like 3 minutes, enjoy the ASMR of me eating popcorn.
Seconds.
The rest are just kernels. Okay. There we go. We've started the formation lap. Well, there went my popcorn, I guess. Now I don't have anything for the 80 minutes. Oh well. It is what it is. So yeah, like the 3 previous rounds, 80-minute race, so 1 hour and 20 minutes. 1 required pit stop that you can do at any point in this race. You can do it at the beginning of the race, at the very end, at whatever point you want, but you must change, well, you must fuel up, at least like a little bit, and then I think change tires as well. Depends then if the tires last. I don't know if you are required to change, well, hold on, I'll check it. Okay, refueling and tire changes are mandatory, at least what it says in Discord. Let's see if Emmanuel did implement that into the server. Then that's the other question. But yeah, yeah, there probably won't be that much stuff going on in the race. Unlike the race that we saw in F1, this probably will be pretty boring from start to finish. Well, I mean, of course, the start, the lap 1, lap 2 are gonna be interesting, of course, but then after that it's gonna get a bit boring, you know. It's not gonna be the most exciting, especially the fact that, like I said, it's Suzuka. Suzuka is a driver's track. You don't really historically you can't really overtake around here. So for example, like Dvorak, who starts in the pit because he didn't press drive, he's gonna have a tough time. Around here. So yeah, for Alejandro, the only hope this race for trying to overtake Petendrup is at the start. There's no other time that he can that there's a better time for overtaking him for the lead of the race. As we see, drivers just a bit piling up into each other. Can I get like... where's Adrian? There's Adrian. Oh fuck, I don't really have the good camera. Anyways, the start finish line, it's a bit further back. I don't know what Adrian is doing. Get back into the line. And yeah, gets into the formation, and then we just start the race. Drivers have to, of course, stay within the 70 kilometers an hour now. And the finish line is soon, and the race goes green, 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 and here we go in this Suzuka 80-minute race. Let's see, Petendrup and Alejandro are side by side going into turn 1. Alejandro's on the outside, Petendrup on the inside. Petendrup has the inside, a bit of contact between them, just a bit of a notch from Petendrup. Petendrup defends that P1. From him behind, there's one of the McLarens going a bit onto the grass, but manages to drive off from the grass to manage to live for the rest of the race, at least for now. But Petendrup, good enough start, defending the inside. Well, of course, he started on the inside, but because he had that inside, he of course, had that better line going into turn 1 and 2. There's that bit of contact between Alejandro and Petendrup, but honestly, that's just a bit of racing. Now, Alejandro, he sort of could gamble for a send down inside into the hairpin, and does he? He does a bit. Does he touch Petendrup? I think he did touch Petendrup, and Alejandro goes into P1. He did push and pass into the hairpin. He did kind of push off Petendrup from, well, away from him, but I think he now has signaled that he's gonna let him pass. Let's go back into his car. I think he's signaling that he will let him pass. Yes, there is that right indicator. He will let him pass. So he did just push Petendrup out of his way. But Petendrup is trying to go side by side, overtake him into 130R, and he does overtake him into 130R. Now, Alejandro, is he going to think about a send into the chicane? No, he doesn't. He's staying behind him. As behind, I think that was Schwering who just went wide, just went straight on into the chicane. Or that wasn't Schwering, that was Zayem who went wide, straight on into into the final chicane. And we have ended lap 1. Petendrup is still leading, even though there was that bit of contact and a bit of push to pass from Alejandro on Petendrup. Alejandro did give that position back, and Petendrup is back in the lead. Adrian had a bit of a mistake through the S's into turn 4. Let's look at behind, because there is a bit of action going on. There was a Mustang from race 1 on the grass bits. That was Emmanuel who was in the grass. Emmanuel had a very bad start. He started like in the top 10 at least. I think like P7, P8, but now he's down to P12, so his race has not gone great, at least in the opening stages. Let's go to the Costa. Let's see from him what's going on in front, as there's Zayem trying to go down inside on Lando. He did manage to get that move done. Lando does have a great exit out of that corner. Let's try and go on either POV. There's Lando, or in front of him there is Zayem. We have Lando's POV. Zayem goes defensive. Lando could go down inside, and yes, he does go down inside, as Zayem did go wide. There's a bit of contact, but I think that was as well just racing. Zayem did not have his car alongside, fully alongside, or even half alongside, and now he's getting attacked by the Costa. The Costa around the outside, and he did get him on the straight. It probably shows the power of the Mustang, as Zayem is gonna try and go down inside on the Costa into the chicane, and Zayem does get him, as does Luca. Has gone straight on through the chicane. He does have to, of course, give the positions back that he gained. Back at the top, Bettendrup is still leading in front of Alejandro. Alejandro is not giving this away that easily. He's still that half a second behind him, so he's still trailing him if he makes a mistake, which is a good thing to do, because if he makes a mistake, then he's right behind him to take advantage out of it. So Bettendrup just needs to keep it clean. Of course, then it depends what sort of strategies are they going in terms of fuel, and then in terms of tires, are they preserving the tires now? Are they do they have low fuel? Do they have high load of fuel? Are they pushing? Are they just driving? Sunday driving? So, to be honest, at Suzuka, it's very easy to just go that a bit slower than the car than what you could, and you sorta can get away. You just need to know how to defend yourself and to position yourself in a clever way. As Zayem and Lando, they're still fighting. Of course, Lando previous lap into here did get him. Zayem does seem a bit faster than Lando, but just cannot really get him yet. For some, maybe the track limits are going to be a bit of a problem. But that's just really like you're going super wide in some of these corners. Zayem is close. He has a great exit of 130, or is he going to send it down inside into the chicane? No, he doesn't. Lando defends the inside, a bit moving on the braking, but Zayem wasn't there, so nothing to really protest about or report. Zayem picking up the slipstream, of course. He's going to catch up a bit on Lando, but not enough to go for a move into turn 1, unfortunately for him. He's going to have to live for another day. As behind there's Thiago and Emmanuel fighting for P9. Emmanuel right behind him. Just can't really get in front of him yet. Alejandro is still right behind Bettendrup. Adrian is a bit fading away. 3 seconds already from Bettendrup. Last lap he was 1.9, so Adrian just not really fighting at the moment. Or not really just driving, which is as well just limiting the risk. If you know that you can't really keep up with those two in front for the rest of 70 minutes, then might as well just, well, try and drive and not make the mistakes that can ruin your race, especially the fact that he's fighting with Alejandro for the title. So far as we had one of the McLarens at the hairpin, that was Zayem, wasn't it? I think that was Zayem, actually. That might have been Zayem. Yes, that was Zayem who was out, or yeah, off the circuit. And it seems like he has damage on the front of his car. It seems like it. There might have been some sort of contact between Lando and Zayem. Maybe Zayem trying to go down inside into the hairpin. But Zayem has damage. Lando might have been as well hit. Well, he was hit in the back. If that happened, there's dust from the grass. That was probably Berger. Can't really confirm, obviously, but since Berger is a bit losing time, I think that was him. Behind, Thiago is trying to defend from Emmanuel. He's a bit moving on the straight. That's not really allowed. Emmanuel is probably gonna try and report that, of course, because you cannot move like that on the straight. He moved like 3 different times on the straight. Of course, you can go onto the one side, over to the right, and then come back to your racing line as you are going into the corner. That's allowed, but you cannot just weave right, left, right, left, right, left like Thiago did. You just cannot do that. You just cannot do that. So yeah, Da Costa is as well right behind Emmanuel, but probably since they're teammates, Da Costa is going a bit preservative on Emmanuel. Is not going to try and send an absolute diabolical down inside on him. So yeah, there could be something. Emmanuel reporting that, maybe just complaining, not doing anything about it. Of course, depends if Emmanuel is still gonna be behind Thiago. But we'll see how things will go. Alejandro, bit just not keeping up as much with Petendrup. That's 1.2 seconds between himself and Petendrup. Of course, can't really keep up with Petendrup as he was. Alejandro was 6 tenths back from Petendrup from his pole position. So yeah, Petendrup and Alejandro as well setting very competitive lap times, 2:00.5 and 2:00.8 from Petendrup and Alejandro. Let's go back to this. Thiago and Emmanuel. Thiago is again weaving. He's again weaving. Emmanuel is trying to go for a move, but Thiago is not making it easy whatsoever. Emmanuel down his side into turn 1 and 2. He's gonna send it. Thiago did see him. And Emmanuel, is he gonna get the move done? Or is Thiago gonna try and get him? No, he can't. Even though Thiago was moving again on the straight, Emmanuel did get him into turn 1. And now Thiago has to defend from Da Costa, who's right behind him. He's flashing him with his headlights, trying to say, just get the fuck out of the way. Of course, I mean, he was seeing that weaving. He's probably gonna... I wouldn't blame him that he would have those sort of thoughts in his head. But yeah, Thiago did not make that difficult for Emmanuel, but Emmanuel did find a way into turns 1 and 2. Bit carrying Thiago into turn 1 that he's going to make a send. Then he actually made it into turn 2 as Da Costa seems to be on the inside, but Thiago does get a better exit than Da Costa on the exit as the hairpin. Da Costa still indicating to the left. I don't know why, but sure. And yeah, Da Costa still right behind him. Maybe into 130R. Da Costa seems to have a better exit. Thiago is of course defending the inside. Mustang does have a better straight line speed, it seems like it. And they go side by side into 130R. Thiago has the inside. Da Costa could get him on the switchback, but now into the chicane. Da Costa on the outside, Thiago on the inside. Da Costa does leave him space. There's a bit of contact, and Thiago does get spun round by Luca into the chicane. Great battling between Thiago and Da Costa ended in Luca hitting the back of Thiago, and Thiago drops down to to last position as Zaim is already in the pits. That was an early stop for Zaim. Can I find him? There he is already in the pits. Very, very early. He still has over 60 minutes in this race. So maybe it was for damages. Maybe just trying to get clean air to, I don't know, try and get other drivers, maybe. Maybe that's the strategy as well. Might be as well damage, because he's very, very long in the pits. He's for quite some time in the pits. So yeah, it seems like he's damaged. He had a lot of damage on his car. Or maybe just returned to the garage, I don't know. Yeah, he's still there. Anyways, back to the racing. Petendrup already 2 seconds in front of Alejandro. Alejandro just cannot keep up with Petendrup, which is understandable, of course. I mean, that kind of a pace that Petendrup has been setting in this race is just absolutely phenomenal. Lando, though, now, he has a next target. In front of him is his teammate Berger, of course, a different manufacturer. Lando has McLaren, Berger has, well, his name has McLaren, but he has a Mustang. So technically the same team, but different manufacturers. So could maybe see a move from Lando on Berger maybe soon. As Zaim has came out of the pits, looking fresh, maybe. Let me see that front. Yes, looking fresh, but still going wide. Yeah, that was probably it for racing for this race. Yeah, I mean, Lando is 1.2 seconds, but that's the closest that we'll get in this race at the moment, unfortunately. Unfortunately, there's only 12, 13 drivers in here, so driving, racing action, especially around Suzuka, is going to be very limited. So yeah, that's the thing that unfortunately we have to look at. Just drivers going around, not much happening around the circuits. Yeah, it is what it is, but it's how it is. Not always it's not always that you can get a absolute thriller of a race. Adrian, in the meantime, he did probably just abandon the front. Just can't really be asked to look at the front when they are so much faster. So he's just trying to focus on himself, but he has to focus on his back as well a bit, because Schwering is quite close behind him, and I think he made a mistake on that lap, because he's 4 seconds to his previous lap, so he must have made a mistake somewhere, where Schwering is right behind him. As in the meantime, Zaim has let Petendrup through, and probably is gonna let Alejandro soon. Let me just see that, because I want to see. Probably soon. I mean, Alejandro still has to catch up a bit, close up a bit on Zaim, but still he's gonna let his previous old teammates through. As Zaim is as well going quite far wide as well in the corners. Alejandro might be a bit fuming, to calling blue flags, like Vettel did around Suzuka in 2016. Let's see when Zaim is gonna let him through, actually, or is he gonna just block him? No, he's just gonna let him through nicely. Should have just taken him out. Not because that he was the old Poland's Racing Hope driver and then he left all of a sudden. Just for action, because it's really it's lacking. There's nothing. And yeah, you can see as well that Lando's rear is quite damaged from probably that incident between Zaim and Lando. So yeah, you can see the aftermath in his rear. And yeah, now we just go on board of Lando, because there's nothing really else that we can really look at. I mean, Lando is the closest to another driver. Adrian is eking out the gap on Schwering, so nothing really happening there, unless Adrian is gonna make a mistake again. Then Schwering is not gonna be in front of him. And yeah, Lando now immediately that I came onto his POV, he's making mistakes, and he sets a 10th of a second slower lap time. Emmanuel behind did set 4/10 faster lap times, so maybe there could be a well, Emmanuel could catch up on Lando, but that's still long into the race. There's still a lot of laps to be made, still an hour of race distance to go. Still everyone besides Zayem have to make a pit stop, so nothing really that drivers have to hurry about. They just need to look at their fuel a bit to see what's happening there, to manage those tires a bit more and not slide like Lando does on the exit out of the corners. Yeah, I want to see steering, what he's doing throughout the lap. But yeah, it's like I said earlier in the pre-race, when drivers were on the formation lap in the practice before qualifying, that this race will not be that interesting really. It's gonna be pretty boring, as it is Suzuka, and as well just overtaking around Suzuka, almost impossible, and just the overall lack of drivers. Only 13 drivers is as well not gonna be like the most enjoyable really, because there's no DRS or in these GT cars, so that kind of a concept is as well out of the equation. Honestly, Lando really needs to shift a bit earlier. I think Lando needs to shift up a bit earlier on the exit out of the corners. He's turning a lot mid corner, and then the rear just wants to step out because of that. He has to lift through here on the exit, which is of course nothing good. Here you can really just attack that curb and all that, just a lot more. See, I think Lando just really needs to shift up a bit earlier on the exit out of the corners, as Dvorak has made a mistake. There are yellows. That's Dvorak who made a mistake through the Degners to Costa in the pits. I've not seen Dvorak, but he made a mistake. There are yellows because of him. The gap that was somewhat comfortable, close to Emmanuel, is gone down, as Alejandro as well has made a mistake. He has spun through 130R. Where is he? There he is. Does he have damage on the front? It's maybe seems like a bit, but I think it might be as well just because of the fact that him and Petendrup had that bit of contact in the first lap of the race, but he could have genuinely just hit the barrier quite hard through 130R. He probably just took a bit too much of that curbing, a bit too much of that grass into 130R, and just lost the rear because of that. And now Petendrup has a 15-second gap behind him, so he can just now really chill. He doesn't need to push, he just can drive, doesn't really need to do anything. Alejandro, in the meantime, because of that mistake, now he has Adrian right behind him, and Adrian is trying to go side by side into 130R. The Degners, of course, Adrian just backing out of that, because side by side into those sequence of corners is just a bit dumb. See, Alejandro making a mistake almost cost him a position. Adrian was right behind him, but Adrian doesn't get... Well, just backed out of a move into the diagonals. Honestly, could have tried and keep it around the outside, just for the fuck of it, to try and get something, because P3 is probably the best that he can hope for, unless he's going to make himself as well a mistake. So yeah, yeah, it really depends. Did he make a mistake? Not that did he make a mistake, but did he hit the wall on the left hand side of the track in here from this POV, basically this POV on the left of 130R. But the Adrian is not close enough to go for a move. Of course, that Mustang has a top speed advantage, but it's not... he doesn't have enough of the straight to really have a chance to go for a move. Then went a bit wide. Yeah, it's just... Oh, they're going side by side, but Adrian backed out of it again. Just Adrian is on the outside, going into a tricky 6 of corners. I want to go into... Oh, there you go. On the onboard of Adrian. Because he really has a chance of overtaking Alejandro. He just needs to really extract it somehow. Just try and send it, I don't know, into the hairpin, into the chicane, into the final chicane of the circuit. Something he must do. Well, definitely not into the hairpin this lap, because he's half a second back from Alejandro. So, of course, not going to happen in a million chances. He just needs to make somewhere, just maybe Alejandro is going to make a mini mistake, and then, for example, into the spoon, and then into 130R and the chicane. He just needs to really take the advantage out of that, out of the top speed advantage that the Mustang has, and then just go for it. As Adrian had a tiny bit of a slide on the exit out of the spoon. Now into 130R, he's closing on Alejandro, but it's gonna be a bit of an awkward position for him. And into the chicane, he's gonna be a bit too far. Maybe he's gonna send it. No, he doesn't. And now into the chicane, Alejandro's probably gonna get a great exit out of here, or is he gonna get a great exit? He doesn't really get a great exit. Alejandro trying to break the slipstream. Adrian, of course, with that Mustang top speed advantage, and of course the slipstream. Alejandro is going to try to defend the inside. Adrian on the outside. We now try and come back down inside into turn 2, but Alejandro did manage to defend that very nicely into turns 1 and 2, not letting Adrian have the inside. But I think Adrian could have, instead of just waiting, like trying to go on the outside, he could have tried to go on the inside of on the right of Alejandro. He could have really tried that, because he's really right up behind him, so he could really just try and go for it. But of course, I mean, there's still 50 minutes left in this race. Alejandro is probably gonna... I mean, maybe he might want to try to get the damage repaired, but of course that would cost him probably 2 positions for Schwering and Adrian. So yeah, that's that. Of course, that's side of the coin. But Alejandro has pulled out now at 9-10 gap. So unless he's gonna make a mistake through the spoon, he should be fine going into 130R and the chicane. Yeah, Adrian again did not get a great exit. Just a bit of a slide on the exit, and yeah, Alejandro has it covered easily. Unless he's gonna make a mistake here again or whatever. Adrian is gonna send it. He's probably just braked a bit too late. Alejandro had to go off the circuit, of course. Not that he wanted to go there, but Adrian just missed his braking point completely, and Alejandro had to go onto the, well, through the escape road. And yeah, now Adrian has pulled out for Alejandro even a bigger gap. So I guess he did Alejandro a favor in a sense. But yeah. So yeah, that was that bit of driving. Is there anyone else fighting? I mean, there's Ferring, of course. Lando has gotten overtaken by Emmanuel actually in the meantime while we were watching Alejandro and Adrian fighting. Petendrup just chilling in P1. The rest of the drivers just chilling. Nothing really to see. Emmanuel, like I said, overtook Lando, so his next target is gonna be Berger, his teammate, or at least from the same team. Then it really depends, are they really teammates, like in terms of like, do they get along, whatever. Anyways, Adrian has a bit closed up on Alejandro. It's that 1 second again. Let's see, can he go for a move maybe? I mean, I'm not really into the chicane really. Just not close enough again. I mean, not close enough is really an understatement really. Just, you could fit probably 2 cars between there. At least. And then into turn 1 again, Adrian is not going to have the run. 7/10s back. Never going to happen. Even with the slipstream and all that, it ain't happening for Adrian. This ain't F1 where you can use the ERS and then the DRS to somehow make the move done. Of course. 50 minutes left, well 49 minutes left in this race. Soon we will be seeing the first drivers pitting for their first pit stops. Zaim and Da Costa already pitted, of course. Adrian and, well, the rest of the grid still have to pit. So we'll see when they will pit, of course. Adrian is right behind Alejandro, but into the Degnus, of course, just can't really do anything. Da Costa right in front of Alejandro is a lapped car, of course. He already made his pit stop. Adrian just not going for a scent into the hairpin right behind him, right behind his ass. Da Costa just letting both Alejandro and Adrian through this right long hander. Adrian has a run into the spoon, but did not decide to go for a send. Alejandro is going a bit wider on the exit out of the first part of the spoon. Now Adrian has the slipstream, has the advantage of a top speed from the Mustang, but just lifts off a bit. Alejandro positioning his car beautifully. Alejandro goes a bit wide on the exit of the 130R. Adrian tries to send it down inside, but Adrian did not brake that enough late enough to go for a move. But now into turn 1, Alejandro is going to try to defend that inside line as much as possible. Adrian is going to go left. He does go left. And now, side by side into turn 1. Adrian has the move done. Around the outside, has made it. And he's up into P2 in front of Alejandro. Beautiful move by the Mustang driver. And Adrian promotes himself up into P2. Alejandro defending himself for all those minutes, all those laps. Unfortunately, with his damage and all that, has to now go back to P3. And yeah, maybe he might get a chance, but it's going to be very difficult for him to get it, of course, as the power of the Mustang is there with Adrian. So It's gonna be very difficult for Alejandro to go for a move unless he's gonna send it, absolutely send it into the hairpin, which is not happening. So probably for Alejandro, he's gonna have to somewhat settle for third for now. Lando has pitted, the first one to pit since Da Costa, like 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So yeah, Alejandro somewhat close behind Adrian, but again, I mean, he's just gonna get absolutely demolished on the straights. The power of Mustang is there with Adrian. He just is the same sort of thing as in GT4s between me and Alejandro. This time, Alejandro gets the taste of what it is chasing a car in front of you, but the car in front of you is faster on the straights. That's what I had, and that's what Alejandro did not have for long, as Alejandro pits, pits into the pits, of course, to change, fuel up and all that. And yeah, I want to see, is he gonna change his, is he gonna be repairing his damage? Because repairing the damage will be one of the things that I would want to see. He stops now, 450. 450. With the tire change, it takes about 30 seconds to do a pit stop. If he does for longer than roughly 30 seconds, he has repaired his damage. It's gonna end soon. It should end pretty much now. It should pretty much end, and it did not end for him. He's still sitting in his pit box. He is repairing his car. Let's see, how much worth was that, roughly? 20 seconds worth of damage, at least. Yeah, roughly 20 seconds worth of damage for Alejandro that he has repaired. So, yeah, that was pretty big hit from the combined of the hits from Petentrup and what I'm assuming was that he hit the wall on the left of 130R on the exit out of that. And now he's in P9, of course. Everyone in front of him has to pit. And yeah, Thiago as well in the pits. Adrian, is he pitting? Yes, he is pitting as well. Petentrup is still staying out. Of course, different strategies for different drivers. Some drivers just go at the midway point, which we are reaching soon. Da Costa pitting again? Again pitting Da Costa. Okay. That's interesting. Thiago made his pit stop. Adrian pitting. Like I said, Da Costa pitting again for whatever reason. This is going to be the most boring part of the race. Or this could be one of the most boring parts, because there's going to be absolutely no racing whatsoever. No racing whatsoever. Drivers pitting, different strategies, so people are going to pit for different times and all that. Adrian coming out of the pits now. The same with Da Costa. They pretty much came in. Well, Da Costa was in front, I believe, of Adrian, and they're going out pretty much at identical times. Da Costa though is in front of Adrian, but Da Costa immediately lets Adrian through. The gap from Adrian to Alejandro is 16 seconds, 15 seconds between Adrian and Alejandro. So okay, let's say about that's 15 seconds worth of damage he had. So, yeah, roughly about 15 seconds of damage he had. Sunset is hitting around the circuit. Fucking hell, I'm getting absolutely bombed of notifications. Fucking hell. Oh my goodness me. Pettendrup has pitted. Schwering as well pitting. Voske, is he gonna pit? Doesn't seem like it. He's staying out, so he's gonna lead the race for a couple of laps till he has to pit then again. Then it depends what point is he gonna pit. Yeah, I'm getting absolutely bombarded by notifications. So yeah, nothing that I can really do. Adrian overtakes Luca. This is for position for now. But yeah, Adrian easily overtakes Luca, unless Luca is gonna do an absolute diabolical send. No, he doesn't. Adrian as well defends the position just to make sure. And Adrian is on track up to P7. So yeah, Voske, Berger, Emanuel, and Dvorak are yet still to pit.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
Just check who really are the one. Yeah, and also Luca still need to pit. Yeah, so Pettendrup, Schwering, Adrian, Alejandro, Lando, Zayem, De Costa, and Thiago have pitted. Then the top three of Voske, Berger, Emanuel, then Dvorak and Luca still need to pit. 21 Zayem has crashed out. Well, at least he returned into the pits, so whatever happened to him, he's back in the pits. Luca and Schwering are a bit battling around here. Can I get perhaps yeah, no, of course not. Emanuel already caught up to Berger to within a second. Voske has pitted, so Berger is gonna inherit the race lead. And yeah, like I said, Emanuel is catching up Berger. Then it depends when Emanuel wants to overtake. Of course, then it's like their teammates, so probably they're talking in some chat that when those who want to overtake the driver, they have probably they're probably planning this out and all that. Maybe they're just trying to get. Maybe they're just racing on their own. Who knows? Their teammates, in terms of manufacturers, so and team. Just not in the name. Berger has McLaren, but he's in the Mustang. So yeah. Schwering still has to overtake Luca. This is of course for position for now. Luca doesn't have any sort of obligations to move out of the way. So Schwering just has to get him on track with, well, fighting, not just Luca letting him through nicely. De Costa does need to let both Luca and Schwering through though, as he's getting lapped by them. I think Zayem has retired. Yeah, I don't see number 21, so Zayem has retired. Officially now. Schwering is quite close behind Luca, but just cannot get a way to overtake him so far. I think for Schwering should have been quite easy to overtake Luca, but at the moment it seems like it's not that easy to overtake Luca. As at the same time there's 92 spawn. That's Pettendrup spawn through 130R, the same spot that Alejandro spawn as well. he gets away with, doesn't seem like any sort of damage. I was going to say that Berger and Emmanuel have pitted, but Bettentrup has at the same time made a mistake through 130R. Probably the same mistake that, like I said, Alejandro did, but gets away with no damage to his car whatsoever. Just spin in the middle of the racetrack, which he got as well lucky that no one was around him at that point. So he got very, very lucky that he got no damage from other cars or hitting a wall that could affect his race. So a bit of a hair-raising moment for him, but fortunately he's still driving clean. Well, for him of course it's good that he's still driving how he's supposed to drive and all that. For others, probably Adrian, I don't know, for other drivers anyways, probably they wanted him a bit gone, but it depends. I'm not saying that I want him gone, it's just saying that some other drivers could have wanted him gone. Schwering still cannot overtake Luca. Maybe now on the exit out of the second Degner, maybe he could get a run-up into the hairpin. He is side by side with Luca, but he just backs out of it for no reason. But Luca had a bit of a moment. De Costa lets them through. I think De Costa already let them through. Yeah, Alejandro now behind them has caught up. He's of course racing a lot faster than them. He's just trying to, well, again, Luca is for position, but Luca still needs to pit. But Schwering is the actual one that is for position. He has already pitted. He will go until the end, at least trying to go until the end, unless he has underfueled. And yeah, now we just see the POV of Alejandro. What is happening between Schwering and Luca. Luca goes a bit wide. I mean, Schwering just cannot get the run. He's just so conservative on Luca. He just is not sending it or anything on him. He's just super scared. And now Luca gets away from him, out of his sight, but he's gonna get another car in front of him as Alejandro just gets him easily on the start-finish straight. And Schwering has gone from P4 to P3 and P4 on the same straight as Alejandro has overtaken him. So Alejandro now, fuck's sake. Now that he has a repaired car, now he can try and go for Adrian now, which the gap has gone down from 15 seconds that it was originally to now 8.8 seconds, 9 seconds. So he can go for it. He has 32 minutes left, which would be roughly around 16 laps, 15 laps. Someone has a penalty. That's Luca getting a penalty. Stop and go penalty. 30 seconds in the pits for speeding in the pits. Unfortunate for him, that's P10 finish is gonna go down the drain. Unfortunately for him. Yeah, it's just going down the drain. Yeah, Schwering has lost a lot of time. He's already 9.6 seconds back from Alejandro, and Voske is right behind his ass. We could see maybe Voske trying to go for a move on Schwering. Schwering yet again could lose a position, but Voske had a terrible 130R compared to Schwering. So yeah, Schwering is going to be able to defend that P4 to himself for now, at least. Unless he's going to make another mistake. Let's look at Schwering's lap time, because he's probably made a big mistake. Yeah, 210.717. So yeah, big mistake by Schwering somewhere throughout the lap. That's just allowed Voska to be right behind Lars. But now Voska needs to overtake him if he wants to go for a move. And so far, Voska really doesn't have a place to go for a move anywhere. So yeah, Voska has the same sort of dilemma as Schwering did. Previously, Schwering went a bit wide. Voska has the run, but doesn't really want to risk it into the Degners. Overtaking into the Degners is super risky. It's the corner that it's mostly like one lane corner. It's like Kailami penultimate corner. It's like most of the Monaco. And yeah, like it's like 130R as well. Like 130R in GT3 cars is mainly just one lane corner. In F1 cars you can make it too wide because of course the track and the corner is easy flat on the F1 cars, so you could make it too wide into there, but both living flat out. But yeah, let's go to Alejandro. Alejandro has not gained anything on Adrian from last time that I've seen him. Adrian 2:01.435. Alejandro, he's probably gonna go slower than that even. 2 minutes 01.555. So yeah, it is slower than Adrian by a tenth, but it's still slower. Yeah, nothing really going on, honestly. Everyone has made their pit stops. Just confirm that in here. Yeah, everyone has made their pit stops. Well, of course, besides me, but I don't need to make pit stops. I'm the spectator, so it's a bit hard for me to make pit stops. You know, it's a bit hard for me to make pit stops when I'm sitting just on a chair. Yeah, so yeah, it is a bit difficult for me. But yeah, Voska again is somewhat close behind Schwering, but just not close enough to make a send into the hairpin, into anywhere really. It's 6 tenths back, is quite far behind, quite far back. He needs to be at least like those 3 tenths, maybe 2 tenths into the hairpin to make a move, which unfortunately he just cannot get that gap closed in on the McLaren in front. On the exit of the spoon, doesn't really get a good exit. And yeah, just doesn't have the run to go for a move anywhere. It's still those like 9 tenths, 7 tenths, 6 tenths back, but just doesn't have anywhere to really go for a move. And as well, just not really a gap, because he's always like those 9 tenths, 7 tenths, 6 tenths back, so it doesn't even have the gap. There's Luca coming out of the pits. It's gonna be a bit of awkward for Luca and Voska into turn 1, because well, I mean, especially for Voska, because he doesn't know what Luca's gonna do. He's lapped, of course, so Luca just needs to get out of the fucking way, or maybe trying to unlap himself if he really wants to, but he would sort of need to just move out of the way to let Voska through, which so far he's not doing it, but now he's indicating that he's letting Voska through. So Voska is in front of Luca. Bit of distraction there was, bit of dirty air and all that, but in the end they got all through clean. Yeah, just nothing really happening, unfortunately. Adrian at the moment, 7.6 seconds in front of Alejandro. So far that Alejandro tried to gain on Adrian. Adrian should be safe in terms of keeping the P2 to himself. Maybe not. As he... Well... Yeah, maybe not, as he almost tried to kill himself by braking with one tire, or one pair of tires, on one surface, and the other set of tires on the other surface. Basically, the tarmac and then the grass. So yeah, Adrian nearly killed this race and nearly killed himself there. Alejandro did manage to catch up to Adrian by a second on that previous lap. Don't know, was it fully because of that, but definitely the gap is going down, since the gap is going down from like 7.2 seconds to 6.2 seconds. Bettendrup has a drive-through penalty. The leader of the race, who just had a Bettendrup, did not need to do anything, just drive home, stay within the wide lines, and he had it in the bag. But now, what we see is he has a drive-through penalty. This race is getting, with less than 25 minutes left in this race, is getting a hell lot of more interesting. The pole sitter and the driver who led most of this race, when everyone already has made their pit stops, and when no one has even made their pit stops, or up until the point that he didn't make a pit stop, has led the race every single time. But now, with the drive-through, his lead might not get... He might not get his lead back when he's gonna come out of the pits. Adrian is just entering 130R, exiting 130R. Let's see where... Schwering as well has spun into Spoon, but unfortunately, we have another thing up in front. Adrian making a bit of a mistake on the exit. Adrian is closing in. Let's look at Pettenstrup. Where is he? He's here. Adrian is gonna get him easily on this drive-through penalty for Pettenstrup, and Alejandro is gonna get him as well. So Pettenstrup, with that drive-through penalty, has some work to do to get back into this race. A completely just for lack of concentration, maybe you're just trying to push too hard for no apparent reason, got himself a drive-through penalty, and now he sees the punishment. The race that was supposed to be easy drive home to the win, to take a comfortable win after a comfortable pole position, now he sees that he has a lot of work to do to get back into P1. The gap is not impossible for him. The gap is not impossible. 6.8 seconds to Adrian, and for P2 definitely not impossible. 3.3 seconds to Alejandro. But the question is overtaking. And overtaking might be a bit of a question, especially for Adrian, or on Adrian, because Adrian has the Mustang power. So he has the top end, the top speed of that Mustang McLaren of Pettenstrup, or Pettendrup, I say with the S, Pettenstrup. I don't know why, even though it clearly says that it's without the S. But anyways, Pettendrup has some work to do in this race. But back to Schwering. Schwering made a mistake in 130R. Now it then depends, did he actually make a mistake, or I don't know, Berger had him and Berger had some sort of contact. But Schwering is right behind Emmanuel, but Emmanuel, he has the Mustang, so the top end for him is gonna be the most favorable. So Schwering probably is gonna be forced to overtake him into the hairpin, because that's the part that after a section of corners that McLaren is great at in the corners compared to the Mustang. At least the Mustang isn't gonna get that far away compared to the other parts of the racetrack. That meant as well that Berger has moved up to P5. Right in front of him has Voske, who he has been as well a bit catching up to in this race. So we can maybe see Berger up to P4 by the end of this race. We could see Pettentrup so far, he is not catching up to Alejandro. Well, especially Alejandro. Alejandro is actually eking out a gap, a bigger gap on Pettentrup. Alejandro, of course, is catching up on Adrian. The gap is down to 3.1 seconds. The gap between Adrian and Pettentrup has stayed the same, roughly around the same. But Pettentrup is just not catching up to Alejandro at all. It's the other way around. And to Adrian, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. The gap stays at 6.9 seconds. To Alejandro, it has increased from like 3.3 seconds to 3.9 seconds, almost 4 seconds. So the pole sitter for this race and the driver who led most of this race might not get a win because of his dumb mistake. And I'm saying dumb because, well, he got himself a drive-through penalty when Adrian was 20 seconds behind. He had it in the bag. He had it pretty much in the bag, but he fumbled it. He absolutely fumbled it. And now he's going to have to put some work into winning this one. But in the meantime, Schwering is still trying to overtake Emmanuel, but just not able to really catch up to him, as Emmanuel has the Mustang power, so can't really do anything about that. Berger, in the meantime, has caught up to Voske, so we could see maybe an overtake from Berger on Voske. Especially the fact that Voske is going a bit wide on the exit out of turn 6, out of the spoons, completely out of shape. Berger is going to try and go around the outside, and he's going to be easily in front of him. And Berger, due to Voske's mistake, is up to P4. Voske, can he quickly re-overtake Berger to go back up to P4, maybe send down inside into the hairpin? No, he's too far back, so he's not able to do anything. And just like that, Berger is in front of Voske. Now behind as well, Schwering and Emmanuel are still at it. They're still close to each other, but Schwering just cannot do anything. That Mustang is just way too quick on the straights for him. Just way too quick on the straights, just cannot do anything. Emmanuel is always eking out that's a bit of a gap over Schwering on the straights that just cannot catch him anywhere. Let's go back up to the top, and as we can see, Pettentrup still not catching up. He's still not catching up. He's slightly catching up on Adrian, but he's not catching to Alejandro. Actually, he did catch up a bit to Alejandro. Actually, he did catch up to Alejandro. What was Alejandro's last lap? A whole second slower. A whole second slower. So, okay. He is cooking. Pettentrup is trying to cook to get himself back up to the race lead. But Adrian is even less cooking. He's gonna have Alejandro right behind his ass soon, and then as well Pettentrup, who are both gonna try and get the win away from Adrian. Alejandro had his mistake and the damage repair earlier in this race, or midway point in this race, when he was repairing the damage, Petendrup made the mistake in 130R, and probably that mistake in 130R as well was costly, because if he would have gotten that drive-through penalty without that mistake, he could have, well, with Adrian it would have been really close, but he could have been in front of Alejandro. To Adrian would have been a bit different. Could have been bit, yeah, it could have been a bit different. But due to that mistake, due to the both things that happened to him, the spin in 130R and the drive-through penalty that he got himself in this race, could cost him the race win. Alejandro has gone faster than Adrian, but Petendrup has gone even faster than Alejandro, and Alejandro has the Costa in front of him, but the Costa is not letting him through. He's not letting him through actually that easily. He's a bit blocking Alejandro, which is of course great news for Adrian and Petendrup as well. But yeah, just Alejandro is catching up to Adrian, but Petendrup is as well catching on both of them. But it then just depends what sort of time is Petendrup gonna be behind Alejandro and Adrian. Of course, even though Alejandro is catching up on Adrian through the corners and all that, Mustang has the top end. Like I've been saying like multiple times, like wait, probably for some people are like, okay, stop saying that's Mustang has the top end, like you've said it probably 20 times. And yes, that is true, probably I've said it 20 times, but I'm trying to make the race exciting, of course. Yeah, Adrian has the top end, of course, compared to Alejandro, so even though Alejandro is catching up in the corners, and the same with Petendrup, even though they are catching up on the corners to Adrian, the power of the Mustang on the straight lines is going to be difficult to overtake. Let's see now this lap. Adrian did not have a great lap. It's going to be slower than the previous lap. It's going to be into 2 minutes 02s, 2 minutes 02, 442. Alejandro half a second faster than that. Petendrup goes half a second faster than that even. Well, 4.5 seconds, about to round it off to half a second. So Petendrup is going roughly a second faster than Adrian and 4.5 tenths than Alejandro. This could get spicy. 13 minutes into the left in this race. No one probably thought, well, at least I didn't think, that this race could get interesting for the race lead. But as you can see, it is like really interesting. Let's look quickly to the back. Straying has, well, he did not get himself in front of Emmanuel, and the gap is now 2 seconds. Berger is still in front of Voske, but Voske is right behind him. Anything else happening? Lando, no, not in no man's land. Dvorak, no man's land. Berger, yeah, we already know that. Okay, so let's go back to Adrian. Let's go back into this camera, because this is where you can see both Adrian, both Adrian, Alejandro, and Petendrup, and we can as well see their lap times as they pass. So yeah, this could get interesting. I mean, like I said, Alejandro and Petendrup are catching in the corners, but Adrian has the top end, so the actual overtaking could be proven a bit tricky to them. But let's see, there's still 11 minutes in this race. Adrian did not set a bad lap time whatsoever in this lap. 2:02.122. Okay, actually it's not that great. Alejandro 2:01.770. Petentrup 0:1.352. So Petentrup did not catch as much on Alejandro anymore. He's still, of course, catching on Adrian a lot. Alejandro, of course, caught up to Adrian a lot on this lap, or on the previous lap. So yeah, let's see what the rest of the 11 minutes can do. Of course, Adrian just cannot make the race shorter for us. One lap shorter for us. He has to defend from the cars behind him. And yeah, he just needs to defend those cars with 10 minutes to go. When they will eventually really catch up to them, they're still a bit, well, not, I wouldn't say far, but they're just not close enough to go for a move on either of them. Alejandro on Adrian and Petentrup on Alejandro. So yeah, then it just, when that time is to defend, really defend, then he will really need to show those defending skills. As for a brief moment, we'll look at the others. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Let's go back to Adrian's POV, because it's a great camera to see what is happening behind him. As well, we could have gone into the camera of Petentrup, but in my opinion, this is a lot better of a camera to look at what is happening behind them, behind him, Adrian. Adrian set a great lap time, faster than Alejandro, and Petentrup not that faster than Adrian. Adrian really set a very good lap at the previous lap. If he could just keep those laps, the same lap times like that, 2:01.562, they could be proving crucial in this race. They could be extremely crucial in this race. As behind Berger, there is quite a lot of cars just behind them, but that's just... Wait, I want to see Voska. Oh, that's... I thought that was 4 cars, but that's actually 3 with Emanuela a bit further back. And there's a... Oh! Straying into wall. Damage to his car. He might have some wheel damage, actually, from what I've seen. Let's see his steering. If he could go into more of a straight bit. Yeah, I think he has a damaged wheels, I think. There's gonna be a shortly a bit of a straight line. Okay, actually he might not have. Let's see here. Does he? A bit. He has a bit. It was a bit turning to the left, but it's a bit. It's still manageable for the rest of this race. So yeah, anyways, going back into these 3, I think at this point I'll just go back. I'll just go into this camera, because Petentrup could be actually go for a move on Alejandro if something. So yeah, what sort of lap times for Adrian, Alejandro and Petentrup on this lap, on lap 34? Adrian 0:1.8, 0:1.6, 0.5 for Adrian, Alejandro and Petentrup. So Alejandro and Petentrup, they're not particularly, I mean, they are setting faster lap times, but they're not particularly catching up to him to be close enough behind him to go for a move. And the same for Petentrup on Alejandro. Honestly, F this. I'll go back to Adrian's POV. Or POV of the rear. Adrian going a bit wide on the exit out of the S's. That was a bit of a sketchy moment. Alejandro is right behind him. They go a bit on the grass into the first Degner. Now he really needs to get a good exit. Alejandro could sneak for a move. Down inside. Could really sneak a move, but Adrian did manage to defend it well, but he did go wide a bit. He went wide a bit. Alejandro could get a great exit. They'll be side by side, but the power of the Mustang, I think, will be there in favor of Adrian. Yes, there is the power of the Mustang. It's in favor. It's in Adrian's favor, the top end. But that mistake was very, very costly for Adrian. Alejandro is right behind his ass. He's right behind his ass. But now again, just the top end. Alejandro just won't be able to close in with the slipstream or anything. The power of the Mustang again kicks in. Through 130R, maybe Alejandro could get a better line. Through here, maybe sent into the chicane. No, he doesn't go for it. Pettenstrup as well, very, very close behind Alejandro. Alejandro has to go, is in this vertical moment where he needs to look in his rear, but in his front as well to maybe go for a move on Adrian, but defend from Pettenstrup and into the straight on the start finish straight. Again, Adrian just has the top end to defend himself. Alejandro, even with the slipstream, just cannot get close enough. He just cannot get close enough. He just cannot close in on Adrian whatsoever on the straights. He needs to overtake him into the hairpin, if something, or maybe around the outside of one of these S's. He needs to go for it. But as well, if he tries to go for a move around the outside and it doesn't work, he could genuinely lose a position to Pettenstrup unless he makes a mistake. Alejandro just almost kissing that rear of Alejandro. As what the hell is going on between Da Costa? Da Costa completely took out Alejandro. Da Costa being, what on earth was that? A lapped, what was that from the lapped car of Da Costa? Da Costa just forgot that there was 3 cars. There's 3 cars in that bunch, but he just completely forgot that Alejandro was there. Alejandro is out of the race winning contention because of a lapped car, unfortunately. Adrian, he has one only car behind him, and that's the McLaren of the pole sitter called Pettenstrup. Pettenstrup had that mistake earlier in the race into 130R, and then as well that drive-through that completely changed this race of being completely boring to this absolute cinema of a race. And Pettenstrup just cannot get away around the outside, but Adrian beautifully defending that outside. And now this time Da Costa took himself out. Anyways, there are yellow flags in 130R. That could be actually just Alejandro just retaliating on Da Costa. Could actually be. Pettenstrup did not have a great exit out of that chicane. Da Costa's just sitting on the outside of 130R. That could be actually dangerous. I'm not going to go into the replay now. I think I have the replay. No, I don't have the replay saved. Not actually they're in this. No, I didn't want to go into here. I wanted to save the replay, for fuck's sake. Not this yet. Whatever. Let's just go. What these two will be doing. Pettenstrup is still not close enough. He's still not close enough to go for a move. Okay, now. Options. Controls. Just whatever. Where's the fucking mapping? That's whatever. Oh, it's gonna be this button. Oh, for fuck's sake. Whatever. Anyways, Pettenstrup is flashing a bit behind Adrian, but he just can't get a move. And Adrian, like you could see, there are yellow flags, so can't really overtake into here. So yeah, but basically, Da Costa is helping Adrian, and this is going to be two final laps in this race. I think. No, this is the final lap of the race, I believe. Da Costa has gone back into... Yeah, the leader is on the final lap. Da Costa has gone back into the pits, but Petendrup, he needs a godlike lap on this lap to just somehow close in on Adrian. Adrian, just nothing wrong in this race so far. He still has his one final lap to go. Two final sectors after coming out from turn number 8, I believe that is actually. And now into the double Degners. I'm just still keeping that look on Petendrup. Behind him. Actually, let me go on Petendrup. On his POV. Is he gonna send it down inside? No, he can't. He just cannot send it down inside. Just cannot do it yet. Maybe there could be one final spot, but Adrian is just way too quick on the straights. It might be going in Adrian's favor. Alejandro took himself out. Well, he had the damage. He had to repair it. And due to his bad luck with the lapped car of Da Costa, he was taken out from this race. Well, not this race, but taken out from the contention of winning this race. Petendrup had the mistake in this right corner, 130R, spinning himself, and then the drive-through penalty awarded Adrian to go into the lead. And Adrian, out of the final corners, he's gonna see the checkered flag first and wins the Suzuka Grand Prix, or the Suzuka race in Japan, round 4, and might even, I think, it has overtaken Alejandro in the standings. Alejandro, of course, P3, could have been a P2, of course, if it wasn't for the dumb lapped car of Da Costa, because of course he was banging that wheel on the right, the wall on the right, sorry. Anyways, Berger P4, Voska P5, then it is Emmanuel P6, Schwering P7, Thiago P10, Dvorak P8, yeah, that was it. Can I save the replay somewhat? I can't. I literally just pressed. What the fuck? No? Okay. I guess... Yeah. We're gonna check the number 2 car. I wanna see... Oh, there it is. Laps. There he is right behind... let's just check like this. There is Da Costa. So, Da Costa's gonna be on the right, probably. Yeah, there he is. And then just... The fuck? Right. Oh, man. And it wasn't even Da Costa who hit him. Oh, it wasn't even Da Costa who hit him. That was the car behind. Petentrup! Oh, that's so... Oh, yoy yoy. Ah, that wasn't even the Costa who hit him, that was Petentrup who hit him. I thought that was the Costa who hit him. Oh my fucking... I mean, still, that's... I mean... Ah, that's so poor. That's so poor from the Costa. I mean, what the what on earth was that? Wow, what on earth was that? And then Petenstrup, I mean, he got caught out by that. I mean, you can probably put the blame as well a bit on Petenstrup for the contact, but I mean, the fact was the Costa, if the Costa wasn't there, trying to make it too wide with the leading cars while he's lapped, this wouldn't have happened. But because he was trying to make too wide with Alejandro and put himself in this beautifully positioned place, where just into a corner where it's really just single file. That's so poor. That's so poor from the Costa. And then I want to see this happening as well. I mean, yeah, you don't really... At that point, you don't really expect... You see that the Costa is flashing his lights behind it, the hazard lights. Meaning that he was doing earlier in this race as well. Meaning that he was trying to get away. But... I just want to analyze this. That's... Alejandro is going to be, of course, bloody fuming because of that, and 100% understand that. I 100% understand why he's fuming. I just want to see this thing. Where is it? This. Yeah, this. I just want to see this because this is so bad. I don't know. I have to fucking switch. This is so bad. I've already skipped too much. I mean, I want to see the thought process, what he was doing inside of the car with his controls and all that. Did he have the lights the whole way? Oh, he had the lights the... Did he have earlier in the laps as well? Jeez. I mean, that's just... Did he come out of the pits the same lap? Don't tell me that he came out of the pits the same lap. Jesus Christ, why are you in the pits for so long? Or is it already after it happens? No, they're still together. He comes out of the pits. And they're there. And then on the same... Hey, ay, ay. Good luck defending that then. That's gonna be a heavy up pen. I mean, he's slowing down there already, and then he's just... Nah. I'll make it too wide. No apparent reason. Just... Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, that was the Suzuka race. Way... Um... Way more exciting than we thought, of course. Way more exciting than we thought. A bit for the wrong reasons as well, the end, but... Yeah, that was Suzuka, 80-minute race. In 2 weeks, there is Kailami, same as usual, 30-minute race, 50 minutes quali. Same everything, just the track is Kailami, South Africa. We've already analyzed that incident for long enough, so there's as well for Alejandro footage to look at. Doesn't have to go into replay himself. He can just look at my stream as well, I guess. But yeah, that was Suzuka. Congrats to Adrian for winning. Congrats to Peter Strup on P2. Even though he kind of just bottled it, but yeah. And bad saying this, I guess, but congrats to Alejandro on P3. I mean, even though it's a bit, the congrats can be thrown in the trash, really. But yeah, congrats on the podium for those three, I guess. A bit less on Alejandro, because already the congrats are thrown in the trash. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks' time. Ciao.